I never thought I would sell my Apollo, but here I am using the Audiofuse 16 rig, and I'm not regretting it at all. Is one unit actually better than the other? Let's go all the options that we have and let's see which one is better for you. Let's start with the actual build. Design-wise, just by looks, Apollo wins. I think it looks way sleeker. It looks nice on my desk. The Arturia is good. I'm not a fan of these little orange ears. I think the Apollo fully wins here. If you're running a humongous studio, yeah, the Apollo is gonna win. It's way better for integration of many inputs and outputs. The universal audio system, if you buy multiple units and they're desk units, it is a fantastic way to go, but it is utterly expensive. And it's all great if you run a massive studio with a big recording hall and you have an extra vocal booth, but in reality 99% of the people have project studios like this, where you have a studio at home where we work from. We need other things. And I think Arturia has been really thinking about that demographic. Most people are just recording from home. And what do you want then? You want a lot of inputs and outputs on your faceplate right here. Let's talk about the inputs and outputs of both units. First of all, let's start with the preamps. The Apollo has 4 preamps and the Arturia only has 2 preamps. I'm gonna call it Arturia from now on because Audiofuse 16 rig doesn't flow well. It doesn't flow as well as Apollo. So also that. Naming wise, Universal Audio wins there. But I'm going to call it the Arturia from now on. Preamps. The Arturia has only 2 preamps and the Apollo has 4 preamps. So Apollo wins there, definitely. Inputs and outputs. This is where things are getting totally different. The Apollo has 8 inputs and 8 outputs. The Arturia has 16 inputs and 8 outputs. 16 inputs on one unit is insane. I don't know any other ones. You guys definitely do, so tell me which ones. But most AD converters don't come with 16 inputs, which is great because all my synths are all plugged into their designated channel and they are inside my template. That way I can play any synth at any time. Everything is always rigged up, which is fantastic. I couldn't do that with my Apollo, so I used a external patch bay and I patched every synth in every time. It works, but having a designated input for everything in the studio is fantastic. I would say that most people that have a project studio will have it somewhere on their desk, like I have set it up, so you can actually get to the monitor, change your volume, set up your preamps. You want to have that all right in front of you. So let's go over the options that we have here. The Apollo has as inputs 2 high Z inputs, which is great. So I can plug 2 guitars at the same time into the unit and record them. But they're both high Z inputs. If I want a line input, I have to go through the back to plug it in. Now I need a patch bay to actually be able to get to that. And the same counts for my preamps. If I have an XLR cable, I cannot plug it anywhere into the Apollo. The Audiofuse has 2. I can just plug it straight in here, set my mic up, have a musician come into the studio and let them sing or play violin or whatever we're gonna do. These 2 inputs I can put in XLRs and a 1/4-inch jacks. If I plug in a 1/4-inch jack, I can choose if I want to go line input or high Z input. So if I have a guitarist coming in, I plug it in, I put it to high Z. If my friend brings a little synth over, have some fun, put it down, plug it in, and I can record in line input. With the Apollo, can you go around and plug it in from the back? Apollo doesn't have outputs, as you see. So now I'm in the middle of a project. I'm like, oh, I want some cool distortion on something. Oh, great. Here, I'll grab a big muff, put it on my desk, and I can record. If it's a stereo pedal, it has 2 inputs, 2 outputs right on the desk. So now I can run my synthesizers, I can just grab extra guitar pedals, whatever I have laying around, I put it on my desk, plug it straight into the front plate, and I'm ready to go. The Arturia has 2 reamp boxes built in the case. So I can actually switch the outputs out to a reamp box. So I'm working on my project and I'm like, oh cool, this guitar, I want to run it through my Fender. Plug it straight in here, I don't need a reamp box, and you're good to go. Then it has 2 more inputs as a stereo mini jack. Who uses a stereo mini jack? If somebody comes into the studio and has their iPod from 1993, they can plug it in. Great. Fantastic. I don't see the use for that one, but it's great to have, and I think I will use it at some point. And on top of that, I bring in this synth, and I can actually plug a USB straight in, and it's working. It has a normal USB and a USB MIDI, which I had never heard of before, but it is specifically for sending MIDI back and forth. This is great because a lot of synths use MIDI over USB, and for some reason it often introduces a lot of noise on the actual audio output. This one separates that. So if you just use this, and the Nymphus is notorious for having a noisy output. If you use this MIDI USB, you plug it in, so smart. But then we have our preamps. The Arturia has a designated volume button right here, and it has designated buttons for the low cut, polarity, and phantom power. I really love that they have these buttons straight on the faceplate, so I don't have to go into any menus. That said, the Arturia has a very simple menu system, so if I want to go into the menu, I just press a button and I have all the options right here. I can click on it and change the volume. I can click on it to change the pad or polarity or whatever I want. Monitor section. On the Apollo, we have the volume over here, and you can switch it to alternative speakers if you want to. And there's one button that you can actually assign to whatever you want to use it for, which is quite handy actually. The Arturia, same thing, monitor button over here. It also has a mute button, which is quite nice. And the secondary button, you can change, either switch between 2 speaker systems, or what I use it for as a dim switch. And then we have the headphones out, 2 times 1/4 inch for the Apollo, and the Arturia has actually a 1/4 inch and an 1/8 inch, so whatever headphones you have, you can always plug them in. And that is the great thing about Arturia, like they think that one step further. It's like, okay, but I know that professional headphones have a 1/4 inch, but some people have a mini jack on their headphones, and now I have to look for an adapter before I can actually plug it in. Both options are here already. Fantastic. Okay, let's put these 2 guys away, and let's talk about why did I choose the Arturia. I think it's pretty clear. The options that you have on the front plate makes it so much easier and so quicker to work as a composer. I can bring in a musician, I can plug stuff in, I can grab a guitar pedal, put it on my desk. I never have to go into the back. With the Apollo, that is the case. Or you need a patch bay. So now I have a patch bay and I can actually plug my synths in and go straight to the Apollo. But now a musician comes in. Oh, I have a microphone. What am I going to do? Oh yeah. So I need another patch bay for microphones. Now I'm in the middle of my process and I'm like, okay, this guitar, I kind of want to throw it through an amp again. I have to grab a reamp box. Guess what? I looked everywhere. I opened up every cupboard. There is a reamp box somewhere in my studio, but I don't have it. And I think that is a problem that I remember happening often. This is not the first time that when I want to have the reamp box, I don't know where it is. Arturia, you're set to go. It already has that. Another thing on top of that is I love when I'm working in Ableton to send CV out of my computer to my modular and change parameters that way. The Apollo's outputs are not DC coupled. So when I had an Apollo, I needed this guy, which was an extra unit on the side that I needed to send CV information back and forth, and now I have to run my sound card as an aggregate device, which works 90% of the time. But once or twice a month, it would not work for me. And it would cancel everything. I would have to stop everything, reboot the computer, and they come both online again. I don't have that anymore, so it's a lot more stable. Since I have the audio rig, I got rid of these 2 patch bays. I am selling these expert sleepers right now, and the same count for my reamp box that I lost. Universal Audio, of course, is known for its incredible good plugins when it comes with DSP inside the AD converter. I think that DSP is a non-issue because computers are so fast. We do not need that extra DSP anymore, and also it prevents you from being able to grab your laptop and move around and go somewhere else because now you don't have the DSP with you. To me personally, I don't want to be tied into an external unit, so for me the DSP that it gives is not important, but to other people it's the most important thing, so then absolutely go Universal Audio. I don't see the benefit of it. The Audiofuse software, if you want to look up more on it, there is other people that go all over it and show you exactly what's in there and what's not. It's a great piece of software. The only thing I want to say is what I think is fantastic is that they have a matrix mixer in there, which means in the software you can use it as a patch bay. So if I plug a synth in here, I can actually send it to my compressor over there and then send it back to my modular, throw some effects on there, and then come back in before it ever hits the computer. So you can do that with basically 0 latency. That's a great extra thing that they build into the software. I think it's amazing. So if we recap it all, they're both fantastic units. But for me, the Audiofuse 16 rig really hits it out of the park. And if you like this video and you're interested in seeing my workflow with the Arturia 16 rig and an actual tape machine, click on this video over here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.